He is Zimbabwe's all-time president. He has ruled over the southern African country since it gained independence more than 33 years ago, and it shows no sign of calling it a day. At 89, Robert Mugabe just got sworn in for another term of 5 years. He had dusted his longtime political rival Mugabe in an election whose legal battle had been dropped but largely criticized. Mugabe's new term as president will end in 2018, by which time he would be 94. If nature remains kind to him, he might contest again and probably begin to shop for a replacement. But Mugabe insists he would stay in office for another quarter of a century. When President Mugabe assumed power in 1980, his country's population had risen above 5 million. At that time, the World Bank recorded that there was a decrease in infant mortality from 86% to 49%. That was a tremendous achievement for the old Mugabe. Child malnutrition also fell from 22% to 12% 20 years after. That's in the year 2002. Zimbabwe's population had increased to over 10 million, with the president helping his country to achieve the highest literacy level in Africa. And out of the more than 10 million population, just a few dared him at the polls. Today, Zimbabwe's population has risen above 13 million, yet 89-year-old Mugabe appears to be the only man capable of performing miracles in that country. Dare Idowu, a journalist and news editor, says Mugabe is a gerontocrat and a self-styled authoritarian.
Talking about city leaders like Ben Ali of Tunisia, Paul Biya of Cameroon, you're talking about deposed Hosni Mubarak. It's a big problem in Africa because most of these leaders get into power and it becomes so difficult for them to leave that power. Someone like Mugabe has been ruling for the past 3 decades and it's making a 61-year-old Mugabe look too young to rule. So basically, they share certain features, and that's the fact that most of the elections that bring them into power has been adjudged fraudulent, and in most cases they embark on radical economic policies which give them more enemies than friends.
Someone like Dari may not stay in the good books of the aging Zimbabwean president. Mugabe maintains a steady reputation for blasting his critics. The British government, particularly the Queen of England, President Barack Obama and Nelson Mandela, have all received Mugabe's famous jabs after he began implementing his much maligned indigenization agenda. Yet, analysts hold divergent views on his re-election and popularity among his people.
It is clearly an embarrassment, not just to Zimbabwe but to the entire African continent, that at 90, people could still have justification.
I think it's more about what you have here and what you're able to offer. For me, age is just a number. The thing is, okay, he's been there for so long, agreed. But you know what? You can have a 30-year-old imbecile in government, as we have seen in many cases. You understand? So it's about what you have here, you know, and what kind of leadership and cover you provide for your people.
Robert Mugabe is considered a die-hard leader. His country has suffered several sanctions imposed by the United States and the EU. He has practically sustained his country's land reforms and reduced the influence of the West. In the late 1980s, his socialist policy accounted for Zimbabwe's GDP rise from 10.6% to 12.5%, and statistics from the World Bank shows the country's economy remains steady.
If you have a people who have been completely demobilized, who have been completely defeated, both in psyche and in spirit, you will find that they can do anything just so to align with where the forces are.
But Mugabe's age stirs controversy. He has denied suffering from prostate cancer, which means he hopes to remain in power for as long as he enjoys the support of his people. Perhaps this development would leave onlookers with an opinion of democracy in that part of the world. Adetunji Adeteye, TVC News.